Hello and welcome to Africa Today. I am Esther Mokmariola. Dubbed Africa's most populous nation, Nigeria is a dramatic prose where the plot often swings between the strength of diversity and the crisis of identity. In a story that dates back to 1967, where more than 2 million people died during the Nigerian Civil War. In moving away from the past and turning towards the future, the Biafra secessionist agenda has failed to fade away, attracting international attention, raising human rights concerns, and questioning the essence of national coexistence. And so we ask, what are your thoughts on the recent legal controversies and political intrigues surrounding the agitations for Biafra in Nigeria? You can join the conversation and share your thoughts with us on Twitter at TVC Connect. A report to launch the program now, and Africa Today will continue. Welcome on board.
The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, is partially a free man. After continuous agitations by his supporters for his release, they can finally heave a sigh of relief. As usual, they converge on the Federal High Court amidst a heavy security present in support of the leader. Among dignitaries in the courtroom to witness the ruling was the governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose. While delivering her ruling for bail, Justice Binta Nyako held that Kanu must produce 3 sureties, including a highly respected and recognized Jewish leader. He must also produce a highly placed person of Igbo extraction, such as a senator, and a highly respected person who is resident and owns landed property in Abuja. As part of his bail conditions, she added that each surety must deposit 100 million naira each. The judge warned that he must not grant any form of interview or attend any form of rally. She added that he must make himself available for trial at all times. His co-defendants, Chidebere Onwudiwe and Benjamin Madubugo, were however denied bail. His counsel said he was certain they would meet the bail conditions and ensure the bail is respected.
Well, the point is that, let me make this clear to everybody and to the whole world. The court has given the conditions for his bail this morning, which we are going to perfect. And we are going to resist every attempt by the federal government to flout this order made by the court this morning. Even to tell mobilizing people to the street, I will do that. And any attempt to flout this order will bring an end to this trial, because we will not subject himself to further trial unless when that order is complied. We will not accept it to end any longer.
Meanwhile, he was returned to Kuje prison, pending when the bail conditions are perfected.
Now, according to the latest reports, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, who has been on trial on treasonable felony charges, is said to have fulfilled the bail conditions laid down by the Nigerian court in Abuja. Well, the court granted bail to the leader of the separatist group who was arrested in Lagos on October the 14th, 2015 on grounds of ill health. Joining me in the studio on Africa Today, I have Liberos Shoma, by my right, and a political analyst here in the studio. Thanks a lot for being here.
Pleasure.
And by my right, rather, I have in the studio Kennedy Osunwa, a lawyer and coordinator of Justice Defender Foundation. Thanks a lot for being here as well.
Good evening.
And on satellite, I have Nnamdi Kanu's brother. He is Emmanuel Kanu. Good to have you with us on the show.
Thank you.
Now, let me begin the program with you now, Emmanuel. Now that the bail conditions have been met, has Nnamdi Kanu gained his freedom?
Yes, I can confirm that to you right now. He's here with me. He has gained his freedom, yes.
Okay, now we want to understand the agitations for Biafra, because some people are saying that that is the reason why the court, he was arrested, rather, for treasonable charges. What exactly are the agitations of Biafra? Could you let us into what it is in a few minutes?
Well, as you may know, for us, Biafra means freedom. We've been saying this over the years. We're Republican in nature, and we believe in justice, equity, and right of every human. The reason why we want Biafra never like before is because it's a nation where each and every one of us as Biafrans belong to, where there is equal right. We are not part of this contraption called Nigeria. Nigeria is an artificial creation made by man. Look at the fact with Flora Show. Nigeria is meant to have expired since 2014, 1st of January. So why would we live in an expired, country not even a nation. That's why we want Biafra. We've been suppressed for far too long. It's a high time we go. Thank you.
And you think with the agitations now that you're calling for, you will get what you're pursuing? Am I right? Or
of course, agitation is the best way, and whatever we've done over the years has been done legally. We don't want to resolve into armed struggle. We believe that as long as we take the necessary steps, we'll realize Biafra. Make no mistake, Biafra has existed before it was re-annexed by the Nigerian government. So this time around, it is a promise God has made to us that come rain, come high water, Biafra must be restored. It is the kingdom of God on earth, and nothing can change it.
Well, Liberals, Kennedy, you just heard Emmanuel, giving his thoughts on Biafra and, well, the agitations. But let me ask you, Liberals, you're a lawyer, and you know the legal implications of all this, but what does the law say with regards to separatist movement or secession? Is it recognized in the Constitution? Is it recognized around the world? What does the law say about this?
Separatists, secessionists are creation of, languages. And so it is difficult for you to legally, say a group is a separationist group according to the law. And so to that extent, if a people decided that they're agitating for a right for self-determination. Yes, the journalists can label them, a group that is agitating for, separationist. And so there are provisions really for, agitating for such. Okay. Also, just the same way you have provisions for agitating for creation of states and creation of local government. But also, if you agree with me that there had been agitations in Nigeria for, the need for people to sit down and actually, discuss, their coexistence. We've attempted national conference. We've attempted,
different
what
conferences.
do you call it? Different conferences.
Okay.
All, with the aim of achieving that discussion, that equitable coexistence. Okay. But all of this, because of lack of sincerity of purpose, you find out that all of them, at the end of the day, are truncated. Okay,
but I still ask again, is it legal, is it right to have secession from a country?
Yes, it is legal to ask for. If you remember, I can take your mind back to the First Republic before the first state was created. That was Midwestern state. There were agitations for state creation. Just the same way, in the UK, there were agitations to opt out of the EU. Okay. Also, there were agitations, the United Nations, there were agitations from Scotland to opt out of the United Kingdom. And then, a referendum was conducted. And the majority of the people said no, would want to still remain, So that means those that are agitating were fewer in numbers than those that. So what you usually do, it's not a crime to agitate, to want to go. But what you do is, since it's the belief is it's the will and wishes of the people. You put it to the test. It's the people that will determine.
All right.
But when you begin to to hound people and label them agitationist, secessionist group and the rest.
Then there's a problem.
You create heroes out of them.
All right, point taken there. Let me get your thoughts, Otsunwa. You've just heard Liberals giving his own expression on what he thinks could be the best way to handle the situation. But if we have lots of secessionists or separatists or people who are not satisfied with a government in different countries, are we likely to see more of chaos, disagreements? What do you think will be the likely implications if we have lots of these groups pulling out of each other because they're not satisfied with whatever provisions that the country has for them?
Well, I want to state that there is, it all depends the way and manner they conduct their affairs or their agitation. Because if one thing we should know is that these agitations are capable of disrupting peace and tranquility of the state that is in existence. So if agitators, you know, does not carry their agitation in a manner that it will, you know, hamper the existence of the state, then it becomes a problem.
All right. Let's quickly hold your thoughts. Now we need to go on a quick break. You're watching Africa Today, and we have been looking at the recent legal controversies and political intrigue surrounding the agitations for Biafra in Nigeria. Stay with us here for more discussions after this break. Welcome back. Reactions continue to trail the decision by the Federal High Court in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, to grant the bail to the separatist group leader Nnamdi Kanu on health grounds. IPOB and other Biafra movements are calling for the independence of territories that lie within and around the southeastern part of the country. Well, we still have Emmanuel Kanu. He is the brother of Nnamdi Kanu, who is the leader of IPOB. Incidentally, he just got released today after fulfilling the bail conditions. Well, Emmanuel, if you could still hear me. Now, there have been concerns that this agitations that you are calling for might cause another war as experienced in the past. Do you think, or can you allay the fears that there won't be any of such, if at all you still want to pursue these agitations?
Of course. From the inception of this agitation, we understand what it is, and we've done it within the confinement of the law. We've not killed anyone, neither have we asked anyone to kill for us. But what has happened in return is our own people being killed by the security operatives. So who is trying to incite war? It's not IPOB, but the federal government. That is the constitution in this country allows for peaceful agitation. Why would they not allow us to do so, according to the constitution?
All right, let's look at the bail conditions now. One of the bail conditions was that Nnamdi Kanu was expected to present a highly respected Jewish leader in Nigeria, and incidentally, that has been met. But there's been some discussions, you know, because they say that most Igbos are Catholics, and this is not really in tandem with what the people believe. Now you say that your people are fighting for Biafra, but the leader of the Biafra is saying he's a Jew. How do you marry the two?
Is there any restriction to freedom of worship? I'm not aware of such. I'm also a Jew, and I believe in Judaism. And I have the right to practice my religion the way it suits me.
All right, does it have anything to do with the myth that most Igbos say that they are the lost tribe of Israel?
That's correct. The tribe of God. That's who we are.
And why was that? Why was that so? Could you fill us in on that? Why was that?
If you look at the history of God, right back in the days, you will understand that that is a tribe where every Biafran man comes from. Beginning from the Gala land, beginning from the Banke people, from the Efik, the Anangs, the Bibios, and all the rest of us. We are not, when you say we're Igbos, it makes me laugh. Igbo is a language spoken in Biafra land. That does not make us Igbos. People should need to understand this.
All right, before I let you go now, prior to his release, that's Nnamdi Kanu, he gained the support of not just the Igbo community, but as well respected leaders in the southeast region. And, you know, interestingly, Ekiti State Governor Ayafayoshe was there in court. Now, what made him so popular? Is it because of this agitation? So what exactly really endeared him to the people and, of course, respected leaders in the Igbo community in the southeast?
Because I said this before, Nnamdi Kanu, who is the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, did not just wake up overnight and say, I'm going to be the leader. It's not a choice he made. It's a call from God. And he had to obey. So whatever you see today that looks as if it's a miracle, it's not what it is. He has the mantle of leadership in him. God gave him a specific instruction. Go and deliver your people, just like Moses did. And that's what Nnamdi Kanu is doing. So everybody's bound to look at him, everybody's bound to meet him, everybody's bound to believe in what he's doing, because it is a just cause.
All right. Let's leave it at that. Emmanuel Kanu, brother of Nnamdi Kanu, who just got his release from prison custody. Thanks a lot for your contributions on the program. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Kennedy, you just heard the brother, you know, giving his all reasons why agitations the religion, and everything that surrounds the whole situation. But my particular concern is these respected leaders from the Southeast that came out to, well, will I say, give him to meet the bill conditions. Some would say that it connotes something, but what do you think, how would you interpret the Southeast leaders' relationship with Kanu in this time when he is facing treasonable charges? Do you see any meaning to this?
Well, I want to speak as a lawyer I am. So the issue of a brother or this will not actually come to play. But having said that, I want to state that when you go to the Southeast, everyone there tends to be his brother's keeper. And of course, you know that the leader in question has been incarcerated for a long time. So as far as I'm concerned, apart from his beliefs, he has also gained the sympathy of the people. And that is why, to my mind, who is who, has come out, to support him. Because bearing in mind the provisions of Section 36, particularly subsection 5, that presumes the innocency of anyone charged with a criminal offense, just like him, they charge him with treason. So, as far as our law is concerned, Nnamdi Kanu is still innocent till the contrary is proved. So, they don't want to, the Southeasterners, and just like our dear Governor Ayo Fayoshe, that also, came. They came because they know that for now, they were there because they know for now, the man is innocent till the contrary is proved.
And what do you have to say about that, Liberals? Do you share the same sentiment?
I want to digress a little bit. I think the government made him a prisoner of conscience. Yes, I can say that authoritatively. After his arrest, during the media parley with the president, I think the president was not properly guided when he uttered those, statements. He was like prejudging him already. Oh, you don't expect, us to grant bail to somebody who is standing trial for, and then he talked about Nnamdi Kanu and Dasuki. And, for that, it was like, oh, the #1 man had condemned, these people already, even though
proven guilty.
Yes, the law had not condemned him. And so with the antecedent of the government also, and then, and mind you, before the elections, Nigerian had never been this divided along two party lines. And so some persons, and then coupled with the statement credited to Mr. President when he said, look, you don't expect me to treat those that gave me 97% with those that gave me 5%. And it is a notorious fact that those from the Southeast didn't vote, for this, for his party. And then people started counting appointments for him. So with all of that, it is easy for people now to say, oh, you're doing this because this man is from this region. And, government made, so much noise about it at if, look, if you release this man today, nation will burn. Dito Dasuki, Dito El Zazaki. And, so it was like, government is out to deal with, these persons. And then gradually, even those that didn't want to even listen to what, IPOB were talking about, all of a sudden started, turning, their heads to, oh, what's happening here? Why is government so fixated on this matter? And so, because I think government, was ill-advised.
And so why do you think government is fixated?
Because sometimes there is tendency for us to want to muzzle our way through. Look at what happened. Even government made the same mistake with the agitations in Niger Delta. When it started, you remember, Asari Dokubo was so arrested also. But at the end of the day, they saw the need to allow the law to prevail. And he was granted bail. and his trial never saw the light of the day. And that also gave way for the discussions and negotiations that eventually led to, the peace, relative peace that, you are enjoying today. And so quickly, I must say this. This was what led to the Second World War. Okay. The agitations after the First World War, the Germans felt suppressed. And so it got to a point, people that didn't know what transpired during the First World War, started the agitation. Look, we're being suppressed, in our own land. And that's almost the same thing. You find out that, go and look at the age bracket of the people that are agitating now. Majority of them did not witness, the Civil War. And so some of them still see or heard what their parents went through. And even though we admitted that there were no victor, no vanquished, but the attitude of, successive government had shown that they were victors and they were vanquished. And so that also is fueling, these agitations. And that's why you see the same party.
Okay, point taken. Now, let me quickly get to you now, Sunwa. With this whole drama, what would you anticipate from the trial now that is to begin July the 11th? Do you see, what would you say your anticipation rather? Let me just put it that way.
Well, you see, the trial is, it all depends on the weight of evidence. Now you are charging Nnamdi Kanu for treason. The prosecution has to lead evidence to prove his case. And of course, remember, it is a criminal case. And it must be a proof beyond reasonable doubt.
But seriously, quickly, to add to this, most of the charges bordering on treason had been knocked off by the same court.
Knocked off, so you mean that
yes,
this one
they'll be struck out.
So are you saying this will be struck out? Are you trying to say it? Is that what you're trying to say?
Quickly, that's why I told you, I'm not trying to take his turn on this. Like I told you, the government made this whole thing look like, oh, this man is a prisoner of conscience. And so, if you look at the same judge had, struck out, some counts in the charges. And then, if you look at the counts remaining, really, they are laughable. The ones that were struck out are the ones that you could truly say
that you could hold him.
Yeah, you could hold him to. But the ones that are remaining now, are neither here nor there.
Okay, so what do you have to say about this?
Well, you see, my position, I still believe it is the weight of the evidence that we speak. I don't want to, preempt
what will be
the court as an officer of the court. But the truth remains that if you say that this man has committed treason, you must prove it beyond reasonable doubt. It is not enough, drafting a charge or charging him and then incarcerating him for years in the name of treason. So we are going to see how the prosecution goes to prove his case and what unfolds during the trial.
Let's wait till then. July the 11th is not so far.
Yes. Quickly.
Well, we're really out of time, Liberos. I know you really have a lot to say, but I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank you, Liberos.
It's okay.
I'd like to thank you, Liberos Oshova, for your insights on the program. Thanks a lot. And as well, Kennedy Osunwa, a human rights activist and a lawyer as well. Thanks a lot for all you've said on the show.
I'm grateful.
Now, repeating the mistakes of past, condoning misdeeds of today, and expecting to avert the misfortunes of tomorrow, Nigeria finds itself at a critical point in time, divided in a sense of purpose, but united in the hope of better days ahead. Now, in dealing with the questions of who is right and what is wrong, recent developments are a wake-up call for government to urgently address the factors that make issues like the Biafra agitation a reason for contention in the first place. And that is our package for today. But don't forget, as usual, to join the conversation on Twitter at TVC Connect, and also follow me for updates around Africa at Esther TVC News. Until the next one, I am Esther Mokwariola, and always remember, this is Africa. Bye for now.